Okay, so hello students, this is Miss Ferriola with a video about Mahatma Gandhi, and he was the father of the British independence movement in India. We've already talked a little bit about Gandhi, but you're going to be exploring Gandhi a little bit more in depth now in your center. So I want to go over what we talked about before and talk a little bit more about how Gandhi was able to inspire a nation of people to fight for independence. So Mahatma Gandhi, here he is right here, that's his picture, okay? The word we need to remember is colonization. In the 16 and 1700s, Great Britain, okay, England, the United Kingdom, they were very intent on taking over as much of the world as possible. And so what they would do is they would go out and they would conquer countries in Africa and Asia and South America and rule them from afar. So they would be in England, they would be in Great Britain, and they would make rules and have people pay taxes and things like that from afar. India in particular was a country that was taken over because they had lots of spices and teas and silks that people in England wanted. So they did what is called colonization. They made India a colony of Great Britain, meaning that Great Britain ruled from afar. Okay? Now, for many years this happened. For many, many years, India was a colony of Great Britain. And then in the early 1900s, there started to be sort of this feeling where India didn't want to be ruled by another country. No country wants to be ruled by another. They want to make their own rules. They want to pay taxes that are going to benefit the people of that country, not a country miles and miles and miles away. So the idea of Indian independence started to become important to the people of India. And one man, of course, Mahatma Gandhi, became the leader of that independence movement in the early 1900s up until the 1940s. Okay? And Gandhi, as we know, was a very bright man. He actually was born into a very wealthy family as a child, and he lived a very rich lifestyle. But as he became older and he saw the unfairness of colonization and being a colony of Great Britain, and he saw how people were so poor in India at the time, that he started to think, this just isn't right. So he began to work for the Indian independence movement. And his idea was that violence and threats weren't going to be the way to gain independence. He wanted to focus on peaceful protests. He was all about doing things in a peaceful way. Marches, we talked about the Great Salt March, where he and thousands of other Indian people marched in protest of the tax on salt that Great Britain was collecting. Not a fair thing. Okay? He would go on hunger strikes where he wouldn't eat for several days or not speak for several days to get people to listen to what he had to say when he was ready to speak again about the unfairness of colonization and the importance of Indian independence. So peaceful protests were the way that he went about getting Indian independence. And people started to listen, and he became sort of a really important figure in that movement. And one of the things that made people listen to him was the way that he spoke. He was a very educated man, he knew a lot, and he was a great speaker. And so the quotes of Gandhi are very famous today, all right? As you go through, your job is going to be to look at some quotes of Gandhi. You might recognize some of them, and you might not have even known that they came from Gandhi, but his quotes are very famous. So you're going to be looking at his quotes to see why those quotes might have inspired people to follow him, to work for independence in India. So here's one of Gandhi's quotes. "Give all, gain all." It's from Gandhi. He said it during his fight for independence for India. So I want you to talk right now in your group, with your group mates, about what do you think the quote "give all, gain all" might mean. I want you to pause the video right now and take a minute to discuss that. Okay, so what does the quote "give all, gain all" mean? You just talked a little bit in your group about what you think it might mean, and I'm going to tell you what I think it means. Gandhi, of course, believed that the only way to get people to listen was if they all worked together. All the people in India worked together. So I think what Gandhi is trying to say here in this quote is that if we give all that we have, if we do our very best, if we give our very best effort, if we do the best that we can, we're going to get a really good result. And that's something I think that could be important not only for the Indian independence movement, because it was, but also for a sixth grader. The more effort you put into something, the more you give, the more you get back. So Gandhi's quotes started out as a way to get independence in India, but his quotes can still inspire us today in our own lives. So your job is going to be to look for quotes that inspire you from Gandhi and think about them. What was he trying to say? What was he trying to inspire people to do or to think about? If you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you for watching this video. Good luck.